Ladies, you know that the appropriate response if another lady ever compliments you is to completely deflect it. If someone comes up to you and says, "Oh my god, girl, you look so pretty," your response is supposed to be, no, I am breaking out, I'm just wearing so much makeup, and really I would rather just cut my head off and throw it into a trash can. This week on Stuff I Never Told You, I kicked things off with, are women scared of weightlifting? On Wednesday, I delved into fashion history with 5 strange accessories fashionable women used to carry around. Then on Friday, I played a delightful game called If Catcalls Were Compliments. Now to Ask Kristen. First of all, thanks to everybody who watched and commented on last week's Ask Kristen video. Should cisgender men play a role in abortion? I want to thank everybody sincerely for keeping the comment section pretty respectful. Dick Coughlin had one of my favorite comments. They can have a say, but it's not their body, so ultimately, it's not their decision. Simples. Plural. Romeo Coates said, "I think men should get a say. I mean, we do have feelings and an investment in the issue, but sadly, no matter how you slice it, it's just not our decision. Though the implications of being financially liable for the outcome of someone else's decision is a deep, dark, and complex rabbit hole that I am in no way able to unravel." I was surprised though with the overwhelming theme of a lot of guys' comments on that video. You want reproductive rights? You got them. But in that case, I get to choose whether or not I want to financially support you and that baby. It is apparently a highly contentious issue. I'll talk about it if y'all want a video on it. But in that case, you gotta let me know. Let's talk about something not quite as contentious, perhaps, with this week's Ask Kristen question, coming from someone who would like to remain anonymous, and I will respect that. Why is there a double standard in our society about women giving each other compliments on their appearance when it's taboo for men to do that? This question came at such a perfect time because there has been a lot of conversation around this whole compliment thing, specifically in regard to a street harassment video gone viral. A lot of you have probably watched it, about a woman who walked through the streets of New York for 10 hours and she got catcalled / street harassed over 100 times, and everyone was like, this is awful. But there were also a lot of people who were like, you're awful, lady, just learn to accept a compliment. There was a fantastic response to that whole "it's just a compliment" deflection, started on Twitter by This Is Blackness CEO Alon James White. White began this hashtag dudes greeting dudes to point out, guys, you know what? You don't have to just yell compliments at women as they walk down the street. If you really need to get a compliment out of your system, you can just compliment other dudes. He tweeted some suggestions, including, you see a dude in a nice suit, just roll up to him like, damn, you wearing that suit. Listen, my boys and I watched you when you came out of the train. Your kicks is banging, son. Can I give you my number? Humorous tweets aside, this observed resistance of guys to compliment other guys on their appearance is really telling in terms of where we are with homophobia and also masculinity constructs and how boys are taught to relate to other boys. Prior to the 20th century, friendships between men were far more emotionally expressive. Abraham Lincoln even shared a very narrow bed with his best friend Joshua Speed for many years. If you read letters between guy friends at the time, they use words like passion and love, and if you even look at photographs taken of close male compatriots, they're often holding hands or touching each other in some kind of way that today we would probably consider very strange and overly intimate, especially for two dudes. Around the turn of the 20th century, things really start to shift as love marriage, as opposed to marriage arranged for economic purposes, has become the ideal setup. Along with that, this emerging idea of spouse as friend shifts that passionate friendship away from, say, a platonic person in your life to the object of your undying love and devotion. Concomitant with this is a rise of homophobia, particularly by the 1910s and 1920s after World War I. This construct of what's called active masculinity becomes the new norm for men. We go back to, say, the Victorian and Edwardian era. It was very much about gentlemanly regard. It was all focused on chivalry, and it was highly paternalistic, more protective protective of women from male sexuality than assertive of it. With active masculinity, sexuality comes more to the forefront, along with homophobia, that sexuality should be expressed in a very directly heterosexual way. Even though, yes, today we are far more progressive in terms of our recognition of the mere existence, at least, of LGBT individuals, there still is a lot of lingering homophobia in our culture. There is still a lot of second-class citizenship, unfortunately, that comes with that. I mean, look no further than the fact that gay people can't get married wherever they want in the United States. While I don't have any studies to cite to you like I normally do to back up this observation, I think it's pretty clear that what's going on a lot of these times is a bit of active masculinity at work, of building a heterosexual shield around you so that no one can mistake you for being anything but a straight dude on the up and up. Speaking of gay men, I have a feeling that there might be some awkwardness with them wanting to compliment other guys and perhaps framing it in such a way, if they just want to compliment you, if they're not trying to flirt. Now I want to hear from you, especially guys. Do you compliment other guys on their appearance, or is that sort of an unspoken don't go there? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, I need some new ideas for videos. So, for realsies, ask me your questions so I can give you some answers. And congratulations to Seth Thinks Thoughts for this week's Tweet of the Week. Cristen Conger, your use of costumes is something I adore. Gonna try it in some of my own upcoming vlogs. Also, talking like swanky peeps. Yes, I am the queen of the swanks.